No. I wish I could switch, but it wouldn't. It doesn't let me. I like the long, skinny, horizontal view as a viewer more than the tall this way view. Anyway, it's okay. It's all right. This is my gratitude journal entry that I did yesterday inside this book. I gratitude journal every week inside my membership club, the Craft Therapy Club. I just thought I'd show you because I really am happy. I am with the way this turned out. Anyway, thanks for seeing that. Thanks for looking at it. No auction today, no sales today, just hanging out and crafting. I hope you're all okay with that. I have, oh my gosh, I was thinking about, I have a lot of things I could do today. I'm always interested in what you say or what you're interested in. I'm interested in what you're interested in. So I'm going to open the show so I can see, hopefully I can see comments. There are some things in the Buy It Now tab if you're interested in looking, but really, we're here to hang out and create today. Good morning, Katie Smith George. Thanks for being here. Hey, Andrea Joe. Thanks, girls. Hey, Carol Edison. Welcome. So, I have things that I could work on. Here's the Feeling Green book. I mean, the cover's all done. Holes are poked. It's ready to go. Holes are poked. That sounds funny. And these are my signatures and this is the paper that we made together last week, actually, I think, isn't it? These signatures are ready to go. Holes are poked. Well, in 2 of them anyway, it looks like. But I was thinking maybe you want to see something new. I mean, I could work on this, but maybe you want to see something new. So I thought I would work on kind of what we did last week that you guys seem to really appreciate was painting papers. I have these printables. I printed them out, but of course they're white on one side, and I immensely dislike white in my books. Fornication by Design. Good morning. What is everybody up to today? Let me shut this big light off. I'm going to do that because I think it's a better view for you without, yes, because then there's no shadows, right? Then there are no shadows. So here are the papers. No, I did these in the Craft Therapy Club, in the club. These were decorative scrapbook papers from Pad that I had. And so this one had ferns in it, and I just happened to have a fern napkin. So I embedded the fern napkin in this and designed around it to make, again, decorative on both sides painted papers for junk journals. Now, you can buy these on my site. I made these printables that you can buy for $1. But Craft Therapy Club members, you get them for free. And I posted them this morning in there for you to enjoy. You guys, some of you reacted so funny to... I posted a quick video of making these mulberry papers. They're faux mulberry papers made with lots of things you likely already have on hand. Freezer paper, tissue paper, crayons, stamps, your ink pad, a variety of things. And I posted it because I wanted to see, we made them in the Craft Therapy Club, but I wanted to know, like, is anybody else interested in this? And some people reacted so funny to that video. It made me laugh. I was kind of laughing. I was giggling, girls. You made me laugh. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, I have a combination of 2 different things here. This is for the Feeling Green. But actually, I mean, I don't know how many of these we'll get through. All of these papers are not double-sided. And so these are printable. So I printed these out from another printable kit that for the Feeling Green event, and then I didn't end up using these. So I keep these in a separate folder so that when I'm putting a book together, I can just grab pages that are ready. But I don't like the white. So we're going to try to cover these up and make them more ready for junk journaling. Thank you for sharing the live stream, Carol Edison. You're the bomb.com friend. Thanks for helping me that way. That is a huge help. All right. Since we're going to be getting messy, I'm going to take this old calendar and get this on my table so that any gesso or glue or paints don't muck up my table. So that's good. I know it looks terrible, but it is good. Hey, Maureen Pet. Hey, Maureen. How are you, friend? Pet Maureen. I love that. Cute, cute. All right, we'll start with what? What do you think I'm going to start with? You guys, I have a frog in my throat. Sorry. What do you think I'm going to start with? You tell me. You tell me. What do you think it will be? What do I usually start with? It's interesting because although I have kind of a, I'm looking for more papers, girls. Although I have like an order that I do this stuff with, not every page turns out the same. They all turn out so different. Where is my paper? What the heck? Is it on? Oh, it's on the floor. That's why I can't find it. It's not where it's supposed to be. Imagine that. All right. Yep. Crash, boom, bang. It's happening over here. Hey, Deborah, how are you, friend? Thanks for joining me over here, girls. These are the ladies who are regularly with me over on Facebook and YouTube. And, oh, you know what? Hold on, girls. I'm thinking. This is in the wrong bin. That is my napkin. Yeah, my napkin keepsake journal. I don't know why that's in the wrong bin, but it is. Interesting. I have, look at this. I mean, I'm not alone, am I? With this issue. These strips. Friends, talk to me about these strips. What are you doing with them? How many strips of paper scraps do you have, and what are you doing with? Look at this. Look at this. I wouldn't even dare to count them all. This one's gorgeous. It's like a metallic pebbled. Look how pretty that is. Oh my word. Maybe what I should be doing is, oh my gosh, this is a challenge, right? The paper strips challenge. There are more. I'm not even going to bother digging them out. There are lots of them. And I'm guessing I'm not the only one. Well, we could use that. All right, let's see about this. Let's just see about what we're going to do here. Oh my word. You make tabs out of them? That's a good idea. Oh, give us some more ideas, friends. Kim said make tabs out of them. Buckets full. Carol, you have buckets full of those? Do you use them, girls? And how? How are you using them? Maybe I should invite some of my creative friends and do an event on paper strips. What do you think of that idea? I kind of like that idea, but I will forget. Paper. Oh, I need more ink, you Posca pen. Paper. Should we do it? Should I invite some of my sweet friends to do a paper strips challenge? I will forget. That's why I got to write this stuff down. Girls, we're on Whatnot. It is what day? Oh, my son, my baby turned 18. It's just after his birthday. That's what I was thinking, the date. He just turned 18. I was a little emotional about it. I'm not going to lie. I got me some ink, and you know me, we're not going to waste that paint. We're going to sop it all up and do something with it. You know, that's how I roll. It's how I roll, friends. A master board, Deborah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. They grow up too fast. Maureen, I can't even with this. I was watching him get his backpack ready today. You know, I still make his lunch because, you know, he doesn't eat school lunches. Don't like them. So he's putting his lunch and his water bottle in there. I'm just going to start on these girls. They're all blank on the other side. It does not even matter to me really a whole lot what's on this side. I just want to decorate these. And so we're just going to get into it. I have had some luck with this glue for just paper piecing. Tags. What does Dex mean? Tags something layer. Tag Dex layer. What does that mean, Deborah? What does that mean? I'm clearly need more coffee because it's not registering with me. Make borders for your scrapbook. Oh, Vicky, good idea. That's a great idea. I've had pretty good luck with this. It flows really easily. It holds really well. It is wet, so it takes a few minutes for it to dry. But I've had pretty good luck with just using it as, you know, paper piecing. I've been using it in my phone book for putting my paper scraps into my phone book and into my little novel book. You know, those who are regularly with me might know what that's all about. So let's just start. These strips, I think maybe I should do a challenge with these. So maybe I shouldn't use these. However, I got lots and lots of stuff I can be using. But the paper strips I'm going to pull out and put aside. I mean, look at this tiny thing. Why did I save this? How big of a piece of paper is too small to save? Now there's a question. I got a glob of glue right there. I'm just going to dip this in there and get her down. How big of a piece of paper is too small to keep? Because I just used that tiny thing. I don't know that I would normally do that. It just ended up in my paper scraps bin here. But I don't think I would normally like save that tiny little piece. But since it's here, it must want to be used. Oh, look at that. Almost goes to the top. All right. This doesn't even have a whole lot on it, but it's colored, right? It's a different color than just plain white. And I'm happy to have that on there. Oh, here's another corner of something. I like that side better. This is mulberry paper. I can feel it. I can feel it. It has a different texture to it, which I like. Now, I don't necessarily need to cover all of this. Likely, you know, this is just the base layer because I don't want just plain white on my page. So other stuff obviously is going to go on top of all of this. But I just need something to start with, and I can't just do white. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know what this is. Painted paper too. Just a piece of painted. Just a little piece. So let's just start. I have lots and lots of strips and scraps. There we go. I'm going to have sticky fingers by the end of this. Make borders for scrapbooks. Oh, hey, Jamie. JV Casey. And Harley Gal. Thanks for being here. Hello, hello, Skeleton Queen. You can make a collage of 1-inch squares in shades of all or all mixed. Vicky, that's a fun idea. Good morning, Rusty Peterson. How are you, darling? Gold Girl Silver, thanks for being here. Who, if you're new here, please give a shout out and let us know. I know that the crafty chicks I hang out with, who are not new, who have been here hanging out with me. I mean, guys, I've been, man, on YouTube and on Facebook. I was thinking about it the other day. It's been almost 10 years that I've been creating live. So it's really fascinating to think about, right? So some of these ladies have been with me since the beginning. They're OGs. But some of you are new, and I'm thrilled. I'm so excited that Whatnot gives me a chance to meet new people, share with new people, chat about our crafted, the love of crafting that we have with new people. It's all good. It's all good. Now, what will happen? You know, these papers all have different thicknesses to them. I try to avoid cardstock in this. Like cardstocks, I put to the side. I don't like to collage with them. But even the book pages have different fonts, different thicknesses of paper, different colors. Can be really interesting to use them all. If you have edges that come up, which will invariably happen because they're not glued down really well, keep in mind you're going to be, well, I will be, the way I use these, I'll be building off of these, doing more on top of these. So they'll likely get stuck down underneath other stuff and maybe even sewn on top of. So I'm not real worried about like an edge kind of sticking up. That doesn't bother me, doesn't worry me in the least, because it will eventually get worked out. I have more of these. Obviously, I've got these little, let's just use them all on the same piece since I have enough of them to do more coverage. One more of this. I think that's the last one. And let's go right here with it. Why not? All right, see, this is kind of thick and it's sticking up right there, but likely it won't be an issue. I just don't worry about it too much. I was so excited to open my phone just 2 minutes before you said, "Oh, Vicki, isn't that exciting?" I love it. I love hangout time. I love crafty hangout time. Okay, is this enough here, or what are we doing? What am I gonna do here? I feel like there's a big white spot right here in the middle. So first layer, paper piecing some collage. I'm gonna put this one aside to dry. Let's grab this one. I usually think of them horizontally because these will go in junk journals like this. So I do usually position horizontally. It's just me. It's just me. See, this is cardboard with music paper on top. To me, it's too thick to use on a paper collage, so I won't. Keep in mind, just reminding myself, so I'm going to say it out loud. Oh, look at that painted paper. Now that is too pretty to get covered up with something else. So I actually will probably make a tag out of that because I just can't do it. I can't go over that painted goodness right there. So what I was going to say is keep in mind that, oh, I have a little flower in here. Why are you in there, dear? If you start paper piecing, oh, we got more strips. If you start paper piecing tiny little pieces like this, I likely will need 30 pieces that big, or we can take pieces this big and I would need 4. So keep it in mind if you are short on time or if you're just impatient, like if you're like, oh my gosh, oh, what? Polygamy among Norwegian Mormons. This book was about Norwegian studies. That's hilarious that that's what's on there. We're just going to glue it down. It's likely going to get covered with other things, but that's funny that that's what's on there. Keep in mind, the bigger the pieces, the less time this will take. I do have some just plain old dictionary paper in here. Oh, those are glued together. Tag making. I don't like straight edges a whole lot. I think I'm out of my glue stick, girls. What glue stick do you love? Anybody got recommendations? I'm going to be looking for new glue sticks. I have not tried that Prit. Is it Prit or Prim or something that a lot of people like? I have not even tried that one. I really like my Scotch Create. But I thought maybe I will order a different one. Just, you never know. Maybe I will end up liking that other one better. So when it's time for me to order a new supply, sometimes I will just order one of the alternate brand, the brand that I'm going to cover this polygamy word just in case. I don't want that sticking out anywhere. Just in case, maybe I will like it more. So do you have a recommendation for me? Permanent glue sticks. Have to be permanent because I don't want stuff popping up off my page in a month because I didn't use a permanent glue stick. Okay, look at all these strips. Oh, but what are you? You're like a 3. Why are you just hanging out there? Oh, we got some coffee stained. That always works. Hey, Christy, how are you? Oh gosh, girl. God bless you. She's going to get her taxes done. No one envies you for that. I mean, you know what though? Maybe we envy you for this. You'll be done. You'll have done it, and it'll be done if you can go in and get her done, man. Thanks for coming by, Christy. Christy is my guest in the nest on Wednesday. She and I are going to be creating together on Facebook at 1 o'clock Central. Super excited. I have invited the ladies who are in my club, the Craft Therapy Club, who have their own businesses. I've invited them to collaborate with me a little bit, and we're going to start with Guest in the Nest so I can get them introduced to. Some of you already know Christy, but for those who don't know Christy and at Funky Junk Inspiration, so I can get you introduced to these fabulous ladies in my craft club. Introduce you to some new fabulous creatives who you might want to kind of hang out with and follow, like Christy. So Christy, thanks for hanging out with me this morning for a few minutes before you go get your taxes done. This is like a bubble wrap. It's cool and funky. I'm just going to use this little swatch of it. Let's put it down. We'll get some serious texture going here. You know what? We got a blank spot right here. Thanks everybody for being here. Hey, Rosemary. I love that name. Sandra's here. Good morning. Yeah, if you are a club member, throw some chick emojis in the comments. If you are in the club, and if you remember, how long have you been in the club? How many years has it been? Some of you have been with me. Like I said, the club, I started in 2019, and some of you have been with me since dang near the beginning. All right. It goes the wrong way, the words, but it's okay. Nobody's gonna like put me in jail, right? It's okay. Sometimes, you know, I used to be particular about stuff like that. And over the years, with practice, that's why I say it's always good to practice this stuff. With practice, you will eventually get over those little nuances that kind of limit you and the way that you create and work with your creations. So I do encourage you, although like my sister, it would drive her crazy if there were words on a page and they were upside down or not facing the right way. I know that would drive my sister Kathy crazy. She would admit it if she were here. And it used to drive me crazy, but I'm a recovering perfectionist, as I call myself. So I'm trying to get over that. Let's add just this dark little coffee stained strip right here to break up all these words a little. All right, I'm going to put this one aside. We're just rocking and rolling here, girls. We're just getting through some. I'm going to start with some big ones. Those are strips, but I'm going to still use them. Is this glued together too? These are dictionary pages. No, they are not glued together. Well, I'm just going to put this whole darn thing down just for the sake of ease and quickness, and then we can cover up things. All right, this is a really big piece. I would try to not have the edge of this land where I'm going to be folding the page. So I'm going to put this right in the middle because I know there's no edge landing where I'm going to end up folding this page. So let's put that right in the middle, and then we're going to build around it with some of these little scraps. Scrappity daps. What are you? I don't know what you're from or why you're shaped that way. I obviously cut something out of that. Oh, I know what this is. This is from an Amity Bloom kit. Hi, Shauna. How are you, friend? Hey, Morocco. That's Marsha. Hey, Morocco. I like saying Morocco. Vicky's been hanging out with me since 2021, 2022. Isn't that amazing to think about? It's wild. Thank you for being a constant friend and hanging out here at the Compass of Grace. It's fun to be over on Whatnot and have a new way of creating together. Also a way to auction stuff off, like my junk journals and craft supplies. I do craft supplies, vintage decor, and handmade items, things that I've made, like my junk journals. Is anybody here new to junk journaling, or you haven't tried it yet? What kind of paper crafting, if any, do you do? You guys, I was thinking, my goodness, it is the end of March. What is up with that? So I was thinking that I needed to do Gannon's. I scrapbooked when the kids were babies for a few years, and I got Landon's whole first year done. I did one book for his first year, like first month, second month, third month. I did a page spread for each month because those are big. You know, a lot happens in those months, you know, a lot of development. And so I did that for Landon, and that was at his graduation party. I don't have one for Gannon, and I was thinking I need to do it. Right? I need to do at least his first year. I feel like a total flop as a parent. Oh, look at this. It's cardstock, but it would be really fun to have that on there. More strips, girls, more strips. I got some little book page hearts. Those would be cute to put somewhere. Gum wrapper, why not? Let's use it. I gotta do his poor first year. I would scrapbook so differently now than I did back then. So it would be interesting to see the difference between the two books. All right, I did a lot of bigger pieces on this one, so you can see that it's takes less time to put it together if you're using that, even that one big piece in the middle. All right, this is a very thick cardstock. I do love that it's just paper heart cutouts. I'm going to put it toward the edge so that doesn't end in the fold zone at all. We don't want this in the fold zone because it will not fold well. Two to 3 years. Deborah's been with me for 2 to 3 years in the club. Yoo-Hoo Magic Blue. Oh, Deborah, I haven't even heard of that one. Good morning, Callie. I see you. You feel like such a newbie, Minerva's Touch. We love that you're here. We love that you're here. You're newbie to my hanging out with our little community here, or are you new to paper crafting? Say more, please. Let's chat. I will encourage you in all ways, in all things. That one's pretty good. It's pretty covered. Not all the way, but like I said, we're going to be doing something over this, so I'm not going to worry too much about it being absolutely, completely covered. All right, let's use up some book strips. I see the word saddle. Sometimes it's interesting when you use strips or book pages. Words pop out to me. It's like, oh, the words, I see the word saddle. Unusual. I don't have no idea what these book pages are from or what they're about, but we got the word saddle. Let's do something like this. I'm avoiding that fold zone. I'm looking for some coverage here, but avoiding that. The edge of any of these pieces of paper, I don't want it to land on that fold zone because it will not fold well and it'll likely pop up if it's not covered with something else. I don't like this one. I don't know why. I don't know why. This is a funky piece. It's butter sunflower. Something. I'm going to overlap these book pages just to make them a little less blocky. So if I find really misshaped pieces, wow, I'm really running low. Girls, I'm running low on the scraps of paper. I don't want another square, you know, like I don't want it to be totally square. So I got to rip it somewhat. That has some greens in it, so that's actually a nice piece to use. Oh, I have this piece here that I smattered all that all over. Let's go here with this, but I don't like me some straight edges. The Paper Studio. See how fast this glue is? You don't have to fight it at all. It just sticks where you put it, which is really nice. All right, I have this now. It's going right there. That'll break up that blockiness because it has a really wild shape. Missed a spot. I missed a spot. Good morning, Callie. Thanks for saying hi. Brooke Allen, hello, hello. Christy Bye. If you guys, and Jamie Casey, thanks. If anybody's here new, thanks for being here. If you are just new, if you're not new with the Comfy Nest, but you're new to Whatnot, make sure you check in and say hello. I want to know who's hanging out with me. It's so much fun and so much more enjoyable for us as creatives when we know who's hanging out with us out there, who you are. It's pretty vulnerable to kind of invite you guys into our homes. Like, this is my house. I'm like sitting in a room in my house talking to, I don't know, I know some of you, but some of you I might not know. So when you let us know who you are, it means a lot. It really goes like a long way in the two-way street of sharing. Because I think of it as a two-way street. We were talking about paper strips earlier. If you're just coming in, these paper strips, how do you use your paper strips? Should I do? I didn't see if anybody said yes to the paper challenge, doing a paper strips challenge. I would do that over in my free group on Facebook, the Crafty Chicks Club. I could do an event and invite some of my creative friends like Christy from Funky Junk Inspiration to come and do a creative strips challenge. Each, like, try to come up with different ways that you can use your paper strips. We did this a few years ago with washi tape, which was super helpful to a lot of people. Okay, so I have this one big spot here that just doesn't have anything. I'm going to take, this is a scrap from this same printable kit that I bought that was green, a green. So, and I'm going to stick this in the middle, but I don't necessarily want all this blockiness. So I'm going to tear along the edges. And actually, I like this distress. I think I'll go this way. And I need to go down to about there to cover that. And again, with the blockiness, we cannot have it. Not that much of it anyway. Nice big piece to cover. Oh, I'm almost out of this one. I think I bought another bottle though. There's probably another bottle sitting over here waiting for its turn. All right, that's pretty darn good. I was gonna pick that up. It's glued down, Greasy. All right, girls. This is what we got done so far. We got this one. Look at, see how that's not glued down? I'm not gonna worry about that just yet. We got that one. We got that one. We did good. We got that. Now we're at next step. We're not done. I'm gonna leave it at that though for the gluing part because we've already been here for a few minutes. So I'll save these other ones for another day and let's focus on these. I'm gonna move out of the way all of these paper strips, all these extra papers, and we're gonna now work on the next layer. Look at all these paper strips. Girls, killing me. What's under here? Oh, nothing. I have another basket I could be using. What was I thinking? All right, let me scoot these aside. Girls, my painful bladder syndrome kicked in. I gotta go hit the restroom real quick. Somebody type in the comments, be right back or something like that. I've been doing collage pages, Marcia says, with a phone book. Yes, she's using that to make tags. Girl, good for you. Good for you. I'll be right back. Hang tight, girls. All right, I'm back. Okay, before I forget to say it, if you are here and you have a profile here on Whatnot that you sell or create live and you want to share that here, let us know, when your next show is. By the way, go and bookmark mine. I have 3 shows out there, 2 creatives and 1 auction in the next like 2 weeks built into my profile. So please go bookmark them. I was so happy 24 of you bookmarked this one. Made me so happy because it means you'll get a little notification on your phone and then hopefully you won't miss it. But please do that. And then secondly, I would love to know, if you do have a show, let us all know that. And what kind of sharing do you do here if you're creative? I was just using, what kind of glue was I using? Where did it go, girls? Where did I put it? Hold on, it's just Elmer's glue. Oh my gosh. Where did that bottle go, girls? Yeah, I talked about the glue earlier, and I was saying how easy it is to use. It's cheap, it's inexpensive, it flows really easily. Washable clear glue for that first layer. We're going to go in with the second layer now. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get out my charcoal pencils. And my gesso. And maybe some paints. There's the other one. I got a black and a brown. Those I love. Maybe some paints, but definitely gesso. And I think I'll use white gesso, not clear. Now, your gesso. Your gesso will serve as a bit of a glue. So when I told you, like, if you have like this happening, don't worry about it if you're going to kind of follow along with this process, because your gesso kind of will work as a glue. And so it will help to stick stuff down. So for me anyway, that first layer, it's okay for me if that first layer isn't completely intact. Uh-oh, that's wet enough. It was sticking to the other page. So I'm going to fan these out while I work on one of them because they're still somewhat wet. Okay, now, white gesso. I have a bit of green gesso, and these pages are green. It's a light green gesso, so maybe actually I'll do this. Use a little bit of this. I should really clean this little flower thing, but you guys, you know how I roll. I don't let it stop me. Skeleton Queen, thanks for being here. Marcia's here. Thank you, Katie Smith George, for letting everybody know I was taking a little break. Yep, gotta go, girls. I gotta go. All right, white gesso. This is kind of a thicker white gesso, which I like. The thicker ones need a paintbrush. And I'm gonna grab my chubbies. I gotta grab my chubbies, my woodies. You guys, yesterday in the Craft Therapy Club, I used, maybe we should use some of this just for the fun of it. Because if you weren't in the Craft Therapy Club yesterday doing gratitude journaling, you would not have seen me. So I will use this. I will use a bit of these. These are watercolor. I want to use the powders. So I'll use the green. There's a brown and another brown. I do really love these. Here's a yellow. I have a blue too, but I'm trying to think of what will match with what we're going on. These are powders. They're amazing. They're kind of expensive, but I can't even, this, it says 6 grams, made in the USA, color burst powders, concentrated watercolor powder with a fine tip applicator. They are really fun to use, and you need just the tiniest amount. So let me show you. We're just going to go with white gesso, and I'm going to focus on the parts that are white, okay, and the joints. When I say the joints, like the space where the two collaged papers meet. That's what I'm focusing on. And by default, the book pages will get covered a little bit too, right? They're going to get a little bit of gesso and color on them just because I'm filling the white spaces around them. So I'm focusing on wetting the white spaces, and then we're going to put a little bit of this colored powder on here. Now this is the part, this is sticking up a little. I'm going to purposely try to get some gesso under there to stick that down. All right, let's go with the green. And I'm just going to drop a little bit of powder, and you're going to see, I'm going to do it right in the middle actually. A few, well, that's actually quite a bit. That's a lot. You see that? That's a lot. I think I need my matte medium, my liquid, because it will help with keep things wet longer. I like to do that instead of using water, because it's, look at this. Look at that color. How much color you get. And there must be something on my brush because I'm getting a little bit of brown too. All right. The more you spread it, the fainter that color is going to be. But I'm going to wash over all of this because what I want is for all of it to look cohesive. I'm going to pick up some of that color from here and spread it out. So I want it to all look cohesive, so I'm using that color to wash over all of it. Yeah, I don't know where the red's coming from. I must have red on my brush. I did a poor job of cleaning my brush, apparently. I'm going with it. You do know I like grunge. You know I like me some grunge when I create. I don't know why I said it that way. So now all of these papers that had different color bases on them, all those book pages and painted papers, now they all have like a green wash over them. So it's starting to make it look more cohesive. Now you can come in and you can glue down other stuff. Like I have these little hearts sitting here, and actually that has a green background, that heart. So why not put it down there? I'm going to use my liquid medium and glue that in that spot right there that doesn't have anything going on. Layers. This is layering, right? So this is not done, obviously. It's just that I don't like pure white pages in my books. I'll likely be putting pockets and tuck spots over this and maybe sewing. But let's do this. I'm going to brighten this up a little bit with a little white gesso. Let's do this. I'm not sure that I love the way this center spot looks. There. Okay, next up, I'm going to come in, maybe while it's still a little wet, with my brown chalk. And we're going to add some more. I'm going to go around where, see, I'm like tracing this weird orange paper with this charcoal pencil. It's spreading weird because it's a charcoal pencil, so it's water reactive, and this is still a little wet with gesso. So it's kind of applying weird. Okay, clear liquid medium, and I'm going to come in and hit that pencil. Oh, it's actually washing all of it away. That's not what I intended. All right. Let's try and see if the woody, because it's bigger, if it does any better. Same, it's still a charcoal pencil. It's just a different size. There we go. That's what we needed. I want to smudge and smoke this up. Smudge and smoke it, girls. Smudge and smoke. I have such technical art terms, you know. I just dipped my finger into the wet medium, liquid medium. Super messy because that's the way I roll. I can't see your whole page because I know it's not zoomed in. It's just the way YouTube or Whatnot does it. I can't get it horizontal for you. It's just the way Whatnot works. If somebody here is a regular Whatnot user as a seller and you know how to change this view to horizontal, please tell me because it doesn't allow it. I can pick it up though, Marcia, and show you the whole thing. Peggy, hello, hello. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. So I'm just blurring out that charcoal brown because I love the look of it. It's the same thing I did. So especially for you, Marcia, because you missed last week's Whatnot. It's the same thing I did here with this. This was stamped, the 57. I went around it with a black charcoal pencil and then smudged it with white gesso I used to smudge and smoke out that charcoal pencil. And then I came in with a gold marker and added more detail to that. So it's the same premise that I'm using here. Now, I could come in and stamp some numbers. I've really been enjoying using my numbers on these. I'm going to let this dry just a little bit while we see the difference. Look at the difference. One that hasn't been done yet. Really lots of white, very clinical looking. Like it's just very, and it's not cohesive because they all have different colors to them. And then you put a color wash over it and they tend to look more cohesive. I missed this spot right here, so it's really bright. But I'm going to leave it because I think it's actually interesting. It's very, very damp. So I'm going to put it aside to dry while we go to the next one and kind of do the same thing. Now, maybe what I'll do here is focus on half and then move over to the other half. What color is it on this side? There is some yellow, a little bit of yellow. So maybe I'll use yellow over here. All right, we're gonna go in. This is white gesso. And I'm just gonna wet everything down with a little white gesso. I'm gonna mix in some liquid medium to make it flow and move a little easier. And then while this is wet, let's do the wash. So I'll take, what did I say, yellow? I'll take a little bit of this yellow powder and I'm just gonna tap it out. That was a lot. I'll show you close up. See? Those are like little powder granules of watercolor. Now look at when you just touch it, how dark that is. We're gonna wash it. We're gonna spread it out. That was a lot of color, man. Holy schmoly. Holy schmoly, girls. I'm adding more liquid medium to it to get that color to dissipate because I do not want it quite that bold. All right, see how bold that is? That was enough color for both sides. All right, so I'm going to grab up as much of this white gesso as I can, and we're going to try to get it to pull down some of that color into the other side. And I still have that, as long as it stays wet, it's a watercolor. So when you re-wet it, it will keep moving for you. The color will keep spreading and moving when you re-wet it. So you just have to have your wet mediums, your liquid mediums. So I had a little bit of white gesso, ran out already. So we're going to go another blob of white gesso. Where did she go? My liquid medium, oh, right here. This is Liquitex Fluid Acrylic Medium. One is clear and one is white. So I'm going to grab I'm doing the clear right now. This is clear. So I'm trying to take the color from up here and spread it down here so we can make it not so bold. But as you can imagine, right, your page is getting really, really wet with this process. So it's going to take it a few minutes to dry. It's all wrinkled up, which I love actually, because I love textured paper. Okay, now it's still, it's fairly wet. Let's come in. I usually like to use neutrals like a brown, gold, something like that. Black even. Let's come in with black and just do some of that edging. It's really not letting me even do it because it's so wet. Yeah, it's not even letting it. I gotta let it dry a little bit more. All right, we'll put it aside for now. Wash done on that one. We'll do some smokiness in a minute. Now this one has browns and like this is a cranberry color. It's green on this side. I haven't used, I could just like introduce a whole new color. Haven't used any of these liquid. These are liquid watercolors. I have a lot of them, as you can see. What if I wanted to use, I have a lot of different greens in these liquids. So it's the same premise. You're using it the same way, or I do anyway. Look at all these greens I have. These are all different greens, all of them. Why do I have so many greens? I bought a set. Look at them all. Emerald green. Oh, that's yellow ochre. Leaf green, pine green. Let's go with leaf green. This one's a liquid. I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the powder, but let's try this liquid now. Okay. White gesso, a little bit of fluid medium. We're washing over all of this, and you can see it already starts to like make these things more cohesive. They look more like a team to me. That's how I would say it. They look more like they're part of the same family now when we start washing over it with color. So first white gesso, want it to be really translucent. I don't want it to cover it up completely. I just want it to wash over it. Getting a little yellow out of that brush bristle. That's funny to me. Marcia, I put it the other way, so now you can see the whole page. It's a little, I usually like to work horizontally, but girl, for you, we're going to do this so that you can see the whole page. All right, this is a liquid. I'm going to drop. Haven't used this in a long time. I'm going to drop a little bit. Try to get one drop there, one drop down here, and let's try to spread that out. I'm going to go into my liquid gel or my liquid matte medium, and we're going to grab that color and start spreading it. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And I don't even need this to cover the whole thing. I've got a little bit of a yellow going because of what was left on my brush from using the powder. So I'm okay with it. Like if I just get a green swatch coming down the middle, that would be kind of cool. Now that you can see that did not spread nearly as much as the powders. The powders are a really powerful pigment. These are a liquid. I'm going to do 2 drops this time. Not nearly as powerful. It's so fun. It's so fun to play with your supplies, girls. When you like, if you're like me, I see something like this. I've never used a powdered watercolor. Yeah, I'm going to get some to try them out. So I got like a set of 5 or 6 of them. It is so fun to learn how your art supplies and your craft supplies work while painting papers or working in an art journal or a junk journal, because there's very low risk and it's a great way to experiment while still creating something useful. You're welcome, Marcia. Hey, Manny from Denver, Manny 2025 Denver. I have a nephew who just moved to Denver. Seeing who else came in. Lisa, hello, hello. Gwen Henderson is here. Welcome, ladies. What's going on in your world today? We're painting. Oh, this one has a lot of green already. It's green on the side. Let's try a blue this time, just because we haven't. I'm going to go with, I have deep blue, azure blue. That's violet. Blue and greens look good together. This one's sea blue. I'm going to go with azure. I'm not going to overthink it too much. Azure blue. Azure. I don't know how you say it. All right, here we are. We're washing. Look at already. I'm just going to wash this left side, and I want you to see the difference between the left and the right. I'm still getting a little yellow and green out of my brush from doing the other pages. Now look, see the difference between how vibrant these colors are and how everything just looks mismatched and mumbled, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But then when you add a wash, and that's just a little bit of white over it, it starts to like make these papers go further into the background, which is what you want, right? I don't want them to be prominent. I want them to be more to the background. Adding some visual interest, but they're not the star of the show here. We want them to go toward the back because we'll be putting something else over this that is going to be the primary focus for your eye. Okay, we got that. Let's add a little bit of blue. I'm going to drop 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I got 5. That was an accident. I need more liquid. I'm already out of my gesso. I haven't even started using that green that I put there, that green gesso. Maybe we'll use it next. Okay, now I'm just going to try something here. I'm going to wet this with liquid medium right underneath these, and I'm going to drip this. Oh, see, Marcia, this, I would want the drips to go the other way, but I moved my juxtaposition here, so we got something weird going on. We're just going to drip this a little bit and see what that color looks like. Now, it's not wanting to move a whole lot, so I'm going to help it with just spraying it with some water. Woo, now we get some movement. And it actually spread that line out more. That's cool. All right, let's do it this way now, because I think it'll be in my book that way. That can be so fun to watch it create all those little lines. It is so wet. All right, now I'm going to take this. Now, I don't want it. I'm going to take a little bit of that blue. I'm just going to try to pick it up and move it to other parts. So we have some blue. In other places on the page. That's kind of interesting. I don't want to lose all those little lines. So I'm going to try to leave that section kind of alone. And using this last dot down here, I'll use these two and try to pick up that blue and move it around. Whoa, that was really saturated right there. This just, I don't know. This just is, to me, very, very relaxing to sit and do this for a while. And if you haven't played with your supplies, get out your markers, your crayons, your all the things that you've, I mean, come on. I hear from you guys so much. I think I collect craft supplies. I'm not necessarily using them. I'm going to encourage you to use them. I actually like these more now. These really muted, soft color going on there. So I'm going to come in here and blur out these lines because I like the blur. I do. I like the blur. I like living in a place of blur, I guess. And this is a big brush. I mean, I could have gone to a smaller brush to get more fine, but I don't need to. I'm liking the way it's turning out. Changed my mind on those lines, clearly. All right, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I kind of left this alone up here. Let's just dab on it a little. All right. I still have a lot of blue on my brush, so I'm going to try to deposit it down there. All right. Now, we've got them all. This one has blue. This one has green. This one has, whoa, that's bright yellow. And this one had just the tiniest bit of green. They're still very, very wet, so I think I better throw some air at them. And then I'm going to do a little stamping. Oh, it is very wet. Holy bucket. Welcome, welcome. How are you guys? Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I know, aren't the liquid watercolors fun? I like them. They're fun to play with. I'm going to bundle these up because I am definitely done with these. I would like to work with my charcoal pencils and some stamping, and I'll use the gesso along with it. So I guess that's what's coming up next. Okay, so sometimes, here's the thing. I have 4 pieces of paper that are rather wet that need to be dried. So sometimes I'll take my little portable fan. Where is it? Oh, hold on a second. I have this little tabletop cordless portable fan that I use in the summer when this room gets kind of hot. And I'll just like put this on really light. And this one's drier than the other one. So I'm going to lay the other ones on the floor with this right in front of it to help it slowly dry them out while I work on this other one. So it is nice to have a little fan like that. It's really quiet. It has different power settings, of course. But that can be drying without me having to hold this on there and keep drying it. And then I can move on and do something else here. Okay, so this one has more bold color, not less. It's pretty bold. It's still kind of damp. I'm going to come in and stamp and use gesso. Now, I did see somebody ask a question. Hey, Flea Brown. The color powder. Color Burst Powder. Google that. They're from Illinois, made in the USA. Sprinkle directly on a wet surface, apply with wet brush or dissolve in water and use like watercolor paint. Speed dry with a heat tool. highly concentrated microfine powder colorant to be used with water on porous surfaces. Color burst powder. There you go, my friend. Okay. I saw a question. Marcia, I can't see your whole page. Oh no, that's not it. What's the difference between Liquitex and Gesso? Carol asked that question. I just bought some Tim Holtz Distress Ink Spray Shimmers. Didn't know he had those. Oh, they're beautiful. They're amazing, Marcia. I have a couple of them and they're amazing. Have fun playing with them. They're just beautiful. All right, let me get, of course, should I get my number stamps or what kind of stamp should we use? I do have a little butterfly that I could use. I do like using, if I'm going to do an image of some sort, I'm looking through my stash right now. This one is really cool. This is the one that, oh, Callie, this is the one you wanted. Girl, I'm going to put this aside because I know you wanted it. I'll put it in the next Whatnot show. I'm not going to use that one today. I'm going to put it off to the side so that I can get that to you. Let's see. Did I just see a bunny? Wait a minute. Yeah. I do like using images, and the set of bunnies is really cool, but this one I actually might, this set, there's a lion, there's a little kid hanging out with the birds. I don't know what's going on there. Two cat ones, no, a dog with puppies, and then the two bunnies, which I love that one so much. But I think I'm going to put this in my Whatnot show too. I told you guys I came into, I won in an auction a huge lot of stamps. And so I've been slowly going through them. Like this one will go in the Whatnot auction. It's huge, right? Amazing. The detail on that one. That would be really fun to use with watercolors. But I'm looking for some images that I can put on this. Oh, here's another really cute one. Whatnot auction. I've been just going through this box slowly. Let's use this one today. Let's use this, and I'm going to grab some numbers, which they're across the room, of course. Of course. Oh my goodness, do you hear me mucking around in here, like trying to get around? Yikes. I can't be the only one with all this stuff all over the floor. There are my big numbers. Now let me just see what's in here. Lots of butterflies. The birds would be cool. I think the birds would be very cool to use. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm going with, girls. All right. Here we go. Callie, of course, honey. Gwen, which one do you love that you want me to hold? Bookmark my next auction. I'll put them in the next auction. Make sure you join me. Oh, I have this one. That's like already on my block. So let's use that one too. You just don't know my supplies have grown in their own. That first stamp set, the one with all the animals. All right, Gwen, darling, I'll put them in the next auction. So make sure that you bookmark that. If you don't know how, you let me know and we'll try to walk you through it. Okay, I'm going to go with, on here, I'm going to go black. So I'm going to go really bold. I'm going to get my black archival ink. This is wrinkly. It's still a little bit wet, so I'm not sure how the stamping is going to work, but we're going to do it anyway because that's how I roll. I don't mind things being questionable because it's a grungy, I like a grungy look, so I'm going for that kind of grungy style. All right, I'm going to put this one down here. Even this table, this calendar that I put, it's all wrinkled up, so I might not even get a full, oh man. I sure did get a full image there. So let's do that. And then maybe what I'll do, let's see, what else did I pull out here? Maybe I'll just put a little bit of this same one up in this corner. Go in the other direction. like this. Yeah. All right. Still a little damp. I'm going to let that just sit for a minute and stamp some other ones, and then we're going to go in with the gesso and the charcoal pencils. So Marcia, you're going to get to see what I did last week that you missed. The Whatnot shows are not available like on other social media. Like you can't just go back and watch the replay easily. So you kind of just want to be here. I don't know what else to say about that. It's new for me creating on Whatnot. That's a new thing for me. I haven't been, this is new. So I'm excited to do it. And we're learning together. But Marcia was like, I want to see how you did those papers. And I couldn't give her a link to watch it because it doesn't exist. So you just have to kind of be here. And Whatnot does not allow me to use StreamYard. Okay, so see what I'm saying about this. When I started this process, green paper, brown paper that was really dark brown. I don't remember what color that was. And then book pages. This had some red on it. But because we washed over it, then we added the drip watercolors. Now we're stamping over it. All of those papers that were on the background that look so weird to start, they kind of faded to the background, and that's what we wanted. So this layering is really important when you're trying to build something visually appealing. But keep in mind, the background is the background. It's not meant to be what people see first. It's supposed to be, I call it like they're the backup singers. It's the backup singers. Okay, let me grab some of these other papers that are sitting in the air, sitting here drying. Grab this one, was right in front. So let's grab this one. I have a lot of room here to stamp. I have a lot of, this one is really so much more mild than the other one was. So I have a lot of space to stamp. This set is always beautiful. Let's do some of these. And I may still come in with another bird, but for now, let me stick the birdie back in its little home. And let's do a couple of these. I like this one a lot. Wow, this thing is like, how are you supposed to stamp that? That's hilarious. It's just tall and skinny. We're going to do a floral over here. That is so bizarro, the way that one works out. I might do a couple of these little flower heads over here. Yeah, let's do a couple of them because I do have a few stamp what are they called? Stems. Couldn't think of the word. Oh, better wipe you down a little. Wow, it's interesting. So these aren't cleaning up. The clear ones, the cheap acrylic clear ones that I had, the ink came off immediately. This one, I'm wiping it, but it's leaving a black, you can still see the black. I'm going to go down a little further so I have room for another flower head right in here because the flower heads are kind of big. Now, which flower? Let's use this big beauty. I haven't used it yet. We're going to use you, Big Martha. Like I said, Big Beauty. Made me think Big Martha. I don't know why. It's the way my brain works. It's a little weird. I know. Oh, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. And now something over here. We're going to do numbers over here. I know already. I know. I don't even have to think about it. Somebody shout out a couple of numbers here. What number should we use? 3 numbers. I need 3 numbers, please. What would you say your most used Tim Holtz stamp sets are? I was thinking about getting a few. He seems paper and create. Looking for suggestions for which ones are most used. Actually, I don't even know that. Do I have Tim Holtz stamps? I don't even know. I don't really. Is this Tim Holtz? Oh, it is. I don't really pay attention to brand. I don't. Haziams, I'm sorry to say that I can't really. I do like the Stampers Anonymous. What's nice about these, they come on a 3-hole ring, like acrylic, and it has the name and everything. So I could put this in a 3-hole. I mean, if you want to be that organized, see, these are on a 3-hole ring base, but I don't store mine that way. I store them in a basket, and then I flip through the basket and see what I want to use. This one, I would say, I use this one all the time. They're big, beautiful, distressed numbers. So this one is amazing. Paint by Number, it's called. I've been really digging these. But I have these. These are just a no-name. I don't even know where I got these. They're distressed numbers again, but they're much smaller. See how much smaller they are? I'm not a brand chaser that way. Like, if I like the stamp, I'll get it, even if it's from the Dollar Tree. I mean, I don't really shop the Dollar Tree anymore. Let me look through my little basket here and see if there are others in here that are Tim Holtz, because I don't really honestly pay that much attention. No, I have some Finnabair. I have Stampin' Up. I have Lavinia stamps in here. I do not use those very often at all, just because they're not very neutral. That's why. I like neutral designs. So I guess I don't really have a lot. But I'm glad you asked that question. And I would invite anybody who's here to answer her. Do you have a favorite Tim Holtz stamp that is like your go-to Tim Holtz? I guess these would be mine. These are the only 2 I have, but I do obviously like to use them. Did you guys shout out some numbers to me? Deborah says 579, and Marcia says 752. So 5 and 7 for sure. And then I have to choose between 9 and 2. Let's do 2. 7 and 5. Let's do those 3. I don't know why, just because you guys said so. And I'm going to do them kind of wonky. I don't like, in fact, I might go like that. They won't all fit on here though. I need a block. This is 3 by 5. I need a 5 by 7 block. That's what I should be looking for, because then I could get all of those on there. Meantime, I can get these 2 on there. I'm going to drop this one down just a little, just a tish. Let's do these 2, and then I'll do the 2 when we're done with these 2. We're doing black because I'm kind of going for bold. And I'm going to smear it out. You'll see I'll smoke it out here in a minute. We're going to smoke them out. I rock it back and forth. Now let's see. See, it doesn't clean off real well on the Tim Holtz one. It's clean, but it's leaving a mark. It's going to leave a mark. I'm not, obviously, like, look, if I really scrub, it keeps coming off, but that's not me. I'm not that patient. I don't care if my stamps are back to like their original. Well, I guess it is coming off with more work. And I used to own all the stamp cleaners and the stamp cleaner pad, and I don't know. I just don't have the patience for it, to be truthful with you. I just want to create. Don't make me stop what I'm doing. But you do you. If it's really important for you that your stamps are pristine, then be pristine. I would say do it. Like, that's what you need to do. What makes you happy, girl. All right. What time is it? 9:30. We've been here for an hour. I'm going to smoke these out. I'm going to use my pencil and play with the charcoal, smoke these out, and the other ones, so I have two that I can do that with. The other two I'm just going to leave for now, just because of, the sake of time. So let's do this. I've got these two. This one is still really wet. I'm going to put it in front of the fan. It's trying to blow away. Stop blowing away. You need to sit there and get dried off, friend. You need a little help. Okay, this one though. Black Stabilo All. I don't need the brown. Gesso or my liquid medium, but I really like using the gesso because it adds the white. Now, what a sin. I put that gesso in there and I haven't used it, so I will probably put that somewhere. I will not just let it waste. I'll use it for something. That's just kind of how I roll. Okay, let's start. There is some brown on these, so actually let's grab this brown. Oh girls, now I'm getting all fancied on you. Getting all fancy on you. I might pull out my Inktense pencil in a green because I don't have a skinny Stabilo All that's green. I only have black and brown. No, I'm not going to complicate matters. Let's not do it. Gracie, just don't do it. Okay, I'm going to come in and not on all of this, but on some of it, I'm going to come in and outline the outline with brown. And we're going to smoke this out a little bit. And then I'm going to do black on the numbers. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. It doesn't matter, does it? Like, you don't have to have a reason for doing the things you do. I will encourage you to just play. You see, I'm kind of going along the outline, but you can see I'm not being super careful about it being exactly on. And I'm going to go in on a couple of flower petals so I have a little more smoke to work with, a little more charcoal pencil to work with on the inside of the flower. This is going to smoke the whole thing out. Like, it's just going to be like those numbers were last week. Add a little more. So you can use a brush. I feel like I have more control with my finger. Oh, is this white gesso? No, that's liquid medium. I have two liquid mediums and no gesso. All right, somebody asked what the difference is. White gesso is white, so it has a color. It is white. The liquid medium is transparent. It's clear, so it doesn't add any color. It's just liquid. The liquid medium they're both acrylic based. The liquid medium is meant to, well, part of the reason people use it is to extend. So if you have a jar of paint and it only has a little bit left and you want to use more of that color, you can add the liquid medium to this paint jar, shake it up, and it's going to extend. You're going to have more paint to use. Plus, it also extends the dry time. So the liquid medium lets you take longer with blending colors or shading out. Like, I call this shading out, but I'm smoking out this flower. It allows you to do that. See how that's white? This was the clear medium. Now I'm using the white gesso, and it's going to add white. It's going to add a white color to your project. See the difference? So gesso is used to prime canvases and prime projects in general. Prime your papers, prime your canvases so that you can come on with other color mediums. Meaning markers, pens, pencils, watercolors, acrylic paints. If the liquid medium is not a primer, necessarily that's not its major job. The major job is to extend the dry time of things and to extend the volume of your paint. How much paint do you have in that jar? I like to use them together often. I want more smoke, so I'm adding more pencil, coming in with that gesso, and I'm smoking it out a little more, where this is going super grungy, as you can see. The original color that I put down, that's stamping, the stamp was permanent. So the stamp isn't moving at all. That's all the brown gesso that's moving around there. So I'm going to add some white gesso here, and we're going to smoke this out a little bit so that we don't have such perfect lines. And it's a total grunge look. If you like the grungy look, I do. I really like it. And I love to play with my stuff. So it gives me a chance to play with the supplies and see how far I can take them. How much liquid do I need to add to get the look that I'm going for? How long does it take to dry? All right, we're going to add a little more smoke. And I don't want perfect lines, so I'm coming in and mucking it up purposefully. I would say, I don't know. I was going to say if you had to pick one, only gesso or liquid medium, which one would I go with? I think, I don't know. Do you guys all have some gesso or liquid medium in your stash? Everybody who has some, say if you have it, and then maybe say if you had to pick between one or the other, which would you pick? That's a hard choice for me because I use them both a lot. I'm going to add some green color to these leaves and to the stems. Imperfect green, as you can see. I don't want that to be perfect. I'm going to take my liquid. So this is transparent liquid. This is a charcoal pencil. It's a movable pencil. And we're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to smoke that out a little bit. So it doesn't look like such a pencil line, and it looks more like a smoky color. Makes sense. Most Stampers Anonymous at Tim Holtz these days are... Oh, I was way behind on comments. Hold on. Thank you. Thank you, friend. I paint my wine bottles, but a primer I will use next time. Oh, there you go. Try it out. Good morning, Denise. Denise, you guys, Denise was my son's guardian angel this weekend. Do you want to hear the story of how Denise... I'm going to outline these numbers, and then I'm going to use gesso to smoke them out. Watch me. Did you ever see that lady on YouTube who does the makeup tutorials? Watch me. Hold on. What was I saying? Denise. Oh my gosh. Denise used to come to my house and help me with my craft crate when I had that crafting subscription box. Even the Napkin Lovers Club, she helped with that. Anyway, we used to work together at the college here locally at Lake Region State College. We were both administrators at the college. So I've known Denise for a very long time. She has watched my kids grow for reals, like for reals. She's known them their whole life. Anyway, Landon is coming home this weekend to pick up his brother for his birthday. And he calls his dad Friday night and says, well, it's like Friday afternoon, and says, Dad, I just loaded up my truck with gas at the gas station in Michigan, and my card won't work. It won't swipe. It will not swipe. And the guy, Denise, Landon told Chris, the guy at the gas station doesn't know how to enter the number in, to just enter the credit card number in and clear out the screen. He doesn't know how to do that. But my card is like, it's stuck. The transaction is stuck on the machine, and he's mad at me because I can't get, my card won't work. I think the swiper has broken. You know how like they just wear out after a while? All right, we're using white gesso and we're smoking this out. Getting that. Oh, I love this look, you guys. I love it. I love it. So I was taking a nap. I was sound asleep, and my husband wakes me up and he's like, Grace, he said, I got to go to Michigan for Landon. I was like, what's wrong? What happened? I was like scared. What's wrong? What happened? His credit card won't work. He filled up his tank with gas. His credit card won't work. He's stuck at the Michigan gas station. The guy doesn't know how to clear the computer without a swipeable credit card. So I got to go. And I said, do we know anybody in Michigan? That's the first thing I thought. Do we know anybody who's there who can help? My husband's like, I don't know anybody. I'm like, Denise can help. Denise would totally help. I know if I can get through to her. If she's there this weekend, she will help. So I messaged Denise and I said, are you in Michigan? She probably thought it was so weird. It was the first thing I asked. I'm not usually asking her where she is. Are you in Michigan? Yes. I said, "Can you go save my son at the gas station by going over there and, using one of your cards to pay for this damn gas so that I can get him home?" And Denise, I used to Venmo Denise when she was working for me. I used to Venmo her money to help to pay her just to make it easier to pay her for her time. So I knew that we had either a PayPal or I thought it was Venmo. I'm like, I think it's Venmo I used to use with her, so I can Venmo her money, no problem. If she can just go save my son from this gas station problem, because Michigan's like 40 miles from here, so my husband would have had to drive 40 miles, put his credit card in, and drive home. So I'm like, man, I know Denise. She's such a dang sweetheart. I know she's a giver, man. If she can do it, she'll help. And thankfully, she did. She did. She went up. She's like, I'm on it. I'm on it. So her and Finn, her sweet, loyal puppy Finn, jumped in the car and went over to the gas station and bailed out my son. And I Venmoed her some money to thank her, to pay her for that. Oh, I did it right away because I'm like, man, you are a savior, girl. You saved us from having to drive. Then we would have had to pay the gas too. We would pay the 40 miles of gas to get my husband there and to get then 40 more miles for them to get back home. Oh my gosh, Denise, darling, I'm telling you, you're an angel, and I mean it. I mean it. Oh God, I said that to Landon. I said, well, Landon is like, she gave me 3 hugs. I said, how was Denise? Was she doing good? Well, Mom, she gave me 3 hugs. She like came right in for a big old hug. I said, that woman. I mean, I think she thinks of you somewhat as her surrogate children. Like, I knew if she was available and she was able to help, it would make her day to help, because that's how you're a giving heart. That's how you are. Look at that smokiness. I love that look. I'm going to add a little bit more. I like to then outline because I love the smokiness, but then we're going to do something else to outline. So I'm going to use a metallic to do that. But anyway, what a lifesaver. Oh, hey, Creating with Chris Hunter is here. So what a savior, right? So I was, first of all, thankful to Jesus that Denise was available, because I knew if she wasn't with her grandkids, if she wasn't out of town for like an activity for the kids or something, or, she sometimes visits with her family. I'll get a message from her. She's traveling to visit with her family. It's infrequent, but I was like, man, she might not be there. We can't take for granted that she was there. So I was thankful to Jesus that she was there, and thankful to Denise that she was so willing to, in a moment's notice, literally go over and help him. The poor guy, I think, at the gas station, Landon said, Mom, he's just like an older guy. I don't think he really knew how to work the computer real well. I think he was just worked. He was very worked up that the computer was stuck on my transaction. And he said everybody who came in for anything had to pay cash because the guy couldn't figure out how to get the reader for the credit cards unstuck. So I was like, oh, that poor guy's stressed out. Landon's stressed out. I'm stressed out. And here comes Denise. I said to her, you needed a cape. I wish she had a cape. She could have wore a superwoman cape and came and saved. She's an angel in disguise. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Creating with Chris Hunter is here. She just started selling on Whatnot. I'm so proud of you, friend. She just started. So if you aren't following Creating with Chris Hunter, please do that. I know she's really excited to be adding Whatnot to her repertoire of places. I don't know if I want to use gold or silver here. I'm going to start with silver and see. I'm a fan of gold. Nope. Nope. That one, just that pen isn't coming out very well. All right, listen, don't go cheap. This one, I am going to use silver. I like it on this, but don't go cheap on your, this doesn't even have a brand name on it, on your gel pens. This one, I use metallic gel pens all the time in my art journals and on my pages. So don't go cheap. They're a little bit more pricey, but the Uniball ones are amazing. I'm going to show you this here in a minute. I'm just going around really in a messy way and reestablishing what I just smoked out, but it's layers, right? So I outlined with Black Stabilo All. I used white gesso to smoke it. So that's why it looks a little gray, because we have the white with the black making a gray, smoky, messy appearance. And now I'm coming back in on top with this silver Uniball pen, and I'm not going to do it everywhere. I'm not going to outline everything, but sometimes I come on the inside line of the number, and sometimes I go on the outside line of the number, and that's going to draw your eye to the silver metallic, and it just is visually interesting. Sometimes I go messy and I go outside the lines. So here, the 5 like this. I'm going to purposefully take that silver line and bring it up over, like overshoot that line way above the 5. And then I'll do, because I get kind of like a cross appearance there. And I'll do the same thing to the 7. I can get really carried away. I love doing this. It's just fun to play with all your supplies. So I want just limited silver metallic, but then I find myself, I do a lot of it because I just love the look of it. All right, so see, and then hopefully you can see how it is metallic. So it gives a shiny metallic sheen. Now, the very dark over here and then over here. Now, these likely in a junk journal, this is going to be folded like this. So when you open it, likely these are not going to be right next to each other. There'd be another page in between them. Like, let's take this junk journal page. Like, likely there's going to be something in between them. So these aren't going to be sitting right next to each other, but I still feel like I want to do something darker over here because I really like that contrast. I started with the brown on the flowers, but I'm going to come in with the black. Actually, let me just see. Maybe the silver is going to be enough if I just come in and, yeah, I'm going to outline some of these petals in silver. Not all of them, but I'm randomly going to come in and outline some of them in silver. So the poor kid, you know, he uses his debit card for everything, just as a side note. So you have that smoky appearance of the flower from the charcoal, and then look at that. It just, when it just catches the light, you get this glimmer of metallic, which I just think is so cool. So he says to us, well, I have to go to the bank. He tried to go to the bank on Saturday and get his new card because it's attached to his checking account. And I said, Lennon, honey, I don't know that the bank, first of all, they only have drive-through on Saturday, which is fine. You can go to the drive-through, but my guess is they're not going to have someone there who runs that machine to make those cards. So I call the bank, and sure enough, they're like, nope, we don't do that on Saturdays, but we can leave a note. Someone will do it on Monday, and you can pick up the card on Monday. So I got to go pick up his card today and mail it to him so he is not stuck without a card. Oh my gosh. And now I'm loving that so much, that shimmer shine. I'm just going to come down in a messy way on this stem and add some metallic. Do you see how I'm not being careful? It's just, and it's not even complete. This, we have a whole lot of blank. We have a whole lot of nothing going on up there. So I actually am tempted. Let's come in with this black Stabilo and add some drama to the edges of this. I need to sharpen that bad boy. It's already. So I'm going to come in, because that was all blank and white is what sparked this, but I do this often, but it was that blank spot that made me think, let's make this a little more dramatic. So I'm just shading with the edge of the Stabilo all the way around the edges, and now I can come in with that gesso and smoke that out. You could use your liquid medium too. Actually, what would I have this other gesso sitting here, the green, that I didn't use, and I'm feeling bad that I didn't give it any attention. What happens if I take that green gesso? You could use paint. You could use white paint, but I already pulled that gesso. Yeah, let's use the green gesso, and I'm just gonna run a little round pencil and really smoke out these edges. You see how, wow, that was not a lot of pencil mark, but we get a lot of color. I'm gonna try to tone that down a little. That is a lot of black. This is why I like to do this on the back of my calendar, so I can go over them at the edge of my paper and not mess up my table. Just framing out the page, just making more drama. Drama, drama, drama. Isn't that what one of the Brady girls says to the other one, Marcia? and her sister. Doesn't one of them say, "You're just so full of drama, drama, drama"? That's what we're going for here. And in fact, I'm loving this so much. I might dry brush some of this onto the page. I like to make my edges, the corners, a little more bold than the straight line. And then in the corners, I'm a little more bold. I take that color and draw it further into the page. That's just me. You don't have to do it that way. That's just kind of what I do. But if I take this gesso as my wet agent and I take some of this black color and then I dry brush. In fact, let's just take these pieces of paper that I put underneath. I'm just going to outline them a little. Here's another one here that's dark brown. Let's just take that. Why not? It's kind of calling more attention. This one is that really bubbled up paper. It's bubble paper. It's like it was in something I ordered was wrapped in it, I think. Or maybe somebody sent that to me. Maybe one of you sent that to me. If you did, I'm sorry for not remembering. I'm just taking some of these pieces of paper that are part of the background and pulling them more toward the front. I'll put it this way so you can see the whole thing. That's what we got. Loving this. Loving it, loving it. Marsha loves how the numbers look. Thanks for doing those again so I could see them. You're welcome, Marsha. You are welcome. You are welcome. No, the guy is not tech savvy, but he gave Landon grief about calling me. They know me and I give grief. Well, I was laughing so hard when Landon said, well, when she walked through the door, the guy said, and you called her? Like, he knew who you were and that you weren't going to take anybody's stuff. Oh my gosh, so funny. Oh, thanks, Hazim. She's following now. She says, let us know when you do shows, get shows on the docket so we can all bookmark. Yes, we have to do that for each other. When you're creating live, can you load your shop or people to buy shop supplies? You can do your buy it now. I mean, you could load your auction tab too, but if you don't plan on auctioning anything off, it wouldn't make any sense to. But yes, if you click on my profile picture, or you can go into the buy it now and see that I have things loaded there that people could grab if they wanted to. Totally. Whatnot bundles shipping for items purchased during a single show from your shop. Yes, exactly. Uniball pens are amazing. Deborah says, I used to buy supplies and stock shelves for 15 offices around Missouri. Uniball pens were the favorite. All right, so we have that one done. We've been here for a while, so I probably won't. But this is what I'm working towards. So for here, like simply, I've already got my stamping done here. I'm going to take this black Stabilo on this bird and outline him or her. And then I can take my white gesso. Well, actually, I'm not going to use my finger for the sake of my finger. I mean, you can, but you don't have to use your finger. If you don't like to, you can use a brush. I feel like I have more control when I use my finger. I'm going to take a little white gesso and now smoke out that bird. Same premise. Same premise, but it's not numbers. I got a little birdie here. And then I can take that smoke color. If I wanted to, I could take that smoke color and kind of fill in the whole bird. There's plenty of it there. See? I like that a lot. And I can do the same thing with my leaves. Black Stabilo on black ink. And I'm just going to outline, add a little bit of this color. I'm not being careful. I don't know that my lines match up with the original stamp lines, but it doesn't matter to me because it's all going to get blurred out anyway. Same thing. A little bit of gesso. And then you can bring it in or out of those lines as much as you want. It just makes it really dramatic, whatever image you're using. I happen to love the numbers. You're going to see numbers repeated often on my junk journal pages and in my art journals. I like numbers. I like butterflies. We were talking about that the other day. Some of us, like, it happens a lot with creators, and I don't think it's a bad thing. But if you have, I really love birds. I really love butterflies. Anything actually with wings. I love botanicals, so I love stamps that are plants and flowers, berries, trees, things like that. So you're going to see these things repeat themselves in my things that I work on because it's what I love. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I feel like I feel like you don't have to feel any particular pressure to say to yourself, because I've done it to myself, like, oh, I always use a butterfly. I should find something else to use. Well, why? Why, Grace? Why do that to yourself? If you like the darn butterfly, use the butterfly. Stop it. Who are you trying to impress, or like who are you trying to win over here? It's your artwork that you're going to look at in your art journal over and over again. So really, honestly, I'm the one who needs to like it, not anybody else. It's so hard to say to ourselves, but I'm trying to be more authentic to myself. Like if that's what I like, then I should have the freedom to use it, and so should you. Man, if you like fairies and you want to put fairies on every single thing you do, girl, I'm going to tell you, fairy it up. Get on with your bad fairy self. All right, this is getting really filled in. Okay, it's getting really filled in, and I actually don't mind it at all. See that smoky gray that I'm getting by combining the white gesso with the charcoal pencil. However, if this is too much for you, if you don't like it, you can pull back some of that color. What I would suggest is, paper towel or something like that. Like get that color off your brush. The liquid medium, that clear liquid medium, you could come in and re-wet this and pull the color off to reveal that stamp again underneath. Remember, that's a permanent stamp underneath. Do you see how I kind of wiped that off? I took that clear medium, the liquid medium, not the gesso, and I'm re-wetting this and I'm pulling the color. I'm actually taking it off of here and depositing it on my paper towel here. So your liquid medium is a really nice tool to have in your stash. And by playing with your stash and playing with your supplies often in an art journal or on junk journal pages, you're going to get to know what product does what for you and how it can help you when you create. See how I'm just picking up that color and getting rid of it? It's just too much for me. It's not really, but I'm just showing you. This is a teachable moment. See, I want to reveal that stamp under there. The stamp got lost. There we go. Now we got it. So spread that color out. Do some page edging. All right. Here we go. Very different than the other one. I'm going to add more white. I'm going to play with it a little more. I don't know. You guys can hang out if you want to. Welcome, raiders. Oh, there is a raid. Who's raiding? Who's raiding? Happy Scrapper 22. Everybody go follow Happy Scrapper 22. It's a really good way to get to know other people. I'm just going to see. Oh, I'm not really good at this. Happy Scrapper 22. There you are. I'm going to try to tag her and say thank you for the raid. Welcome to all Happy Scrappers people. We're creating today. We are decorating. So I have some decorative scrapbook papers. These were printables, but I don't like plain white. I don't like plain white on the back of these printables in my junk journals. So I've been decorating pages for the last hour or so. Oh yeah, thank you for the raid. You guys are the best. Thanks for coming over and saying hello. I do have a few shows lined up if you want to go bookmark them. I've been creating weekly, live, hanging out with you guys, creating, getting to know you here and whatnot, live weekly. And I have a live auction about every other week. My Buy It Now has obviously stuff in it, but I do a live auction about every other week. So if you want to bookmark, I would so appreciate you doing that. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now, I feel like I should do something to the edges of this. So I'm going to try to take some of this color here from the leaf, my charcoal pencil, and just gonna move you out of the way. Just do a little. It's not really moving. There's just not enough of it, so I can take that pencil and Sometimes what I'll do too, just want to point out, sometimes I'll take that charcoal pencil, and instead of adding the gesso to it and smoking it out like this, I'll just leave it pencil mark. I don't particularly get worried about, you know, if this gets wet, it will activate and it's going to become really bold. I'll show you here in a second. So if you wanted to make sure that that color didn't move in the future, you would want to apply a spray fixative to it. You can buy them. A spray acrylic would be fine, like Mod Podge spray would be fine to hold that color in place. I think a fixative with a charcoal pencil would be, like an art fixative would be better, because as soon as it gets touched with something wet, it's gonna move a little. If you don't want that, then just use a plain pencil. But I love my charcoal pencil. I love the way it deposits color, and I love that I have the option of moving that color if I want to. So let me show you. Like, I like that too. I like that look where it's just pencil mark. But if I sprayed that with a little bit of water, it is going to move that color. See how that color is now spreading on the page? If you want to make sure that your color doesn't move, spray a fixative over it. I don't usually do that though. I usually just let it fly. I let it fly. I'm actually going to take, I don't have any gesso or a liquid medium on this. It's just that little bit of water that was on the page. And let's just make this line more dramatic by touching on that charcoal pencil. I'm not smoking it out. I'm just making that charcoal pencil come alive by wetting it with just the tiniest bit of water on this brush. I really love that look. And it frames out the page nicely. All right, girls, guys and girls, thanks for hanging out with me. Okay, I did put the schedule for the week. I sent it to the Telegram. If you're not on the Telegram channel, please get on the Telegram channel. It's where I send live notifications. I'm looking up while we're, oh man, I already put it in there. I already put it in the water. Oh wait, never mind. I'll just leave it. So get on the Telegram if you're not, because every whatnot thing, everything that I do live broadcast either on YouTube, Facebook, or on whatnot, I will send notifications out to the Telegram channel folks. It's a free app. It's secure, used by billions of people all over the world. So don't worry about, you know, just set up your account as private and it'll be secure. But I do have a Telegram channel. I have shared in the Telegram channel the schedule for the week. So let me just see, because I don't even know, when am I live next, girls? When am I live next? So today is Monday. Let me just help you along. Tomorrow, I am art journaling inside the Craft Therapy Club tomorrow morning at 10 live. And then I have, as I mentioned earlier, our Guest in the Nest on Wednesday on the Facebook page. I'll likely put that on YouTube as well. I'll broadcast to both. Christy Aston from Funky Junk Inspiration will be live with me on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. You guys all go have a beautiful, blessed day. I hope your day is good. I hope your creative time is happy and relaxing. Rusty, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for saying that. I appreciate you. Blessings, friends. I'll see you next time. Oh, you know what we should do? Let's raid. Let's raid if you don't mind. Just hang tight for a minute. Let me get you off the holder here. Let's see who we can raid. It's a really good way to support other crafters, even if you just go and say a quick hello. I always ask you to put a row of chicks just like that you see in the comments when you get there, so that we can let them know that the Comfy Nest with Grace is supporting them and saying hello. All right, let's see. Activity. Who is live right now? Let's raid somebody. Create a raid. Who do we want to go find? The Postmodern Cat. She's doing crystals and gems. Thea's Thea's Thingamajigs. That's a cute name. She's doing vintage decor. Let's head on over to Thea's Thingamajigs. Let her know that I sent you here from the Comfy Nest with Grace. Have a blessed